Yeah. There was once when the microphone didn't record.
Oh.
And that was devastating.
So it's just like some
We had
quite boring silent film, to be honest.
Yeah, it was
Not
like...
much slapstick.
So welcome to Young at Concrete Podcast, Charlie.
Yes, hello.
Obviously, for anyone listening, got Charlie, and I can't pronounce your last name, so I'm not
Gaultieri.
Gaultieri, okay. What is that? Is that
Italian.
Italian? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't decide.
Yeah.
I was looking at it earlier, I was like, I don't know how to pronounce that. So I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
People say French. People know the Argentinian dictator, something Gaultieri.
Okay.
But yeah, not many famous ones.
No.
No.
I mean, that's good though, in a
Yeah.
way. It's unique.
It is.
Which is good. Yeah. So the first question we should ask everybody is, how long have we known each other?
Not very... Well, like, I've seen you sporadically, I suppose.
Yeah. I was trying to think when we first met.
I remember that was it must have been after some sort of event.
Yeah, because we ended up in Aroma
yeah,
with Nathan and Charlotte.
Yeah.
But I can't think for the life of me what that was. It might have been Plastic Brain Press.
It might have been. Yes, I think it was.
Yeah.
Plastic Brain Press, yeah.
And we retreated to Aroma. But that was like a year?
Yeah, like a while ago, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, because I was like, oh, he has a podcast. I'll check out his podcast. So I just scrolled through and, like, found, like, the first, like, thing I came across.
Yeah.
And I clicked on the makeup one, and then I was so conscious that I was wearing, like, tons of makeup when we first met. And I don't usually wear that, so I was like, this is a weird first impression.
Yeah.
Because I've, like, that was, like, the one I listened to, like, the first one as well.
I guess I kind of forget, like, I forget that other people, when they can, like, if they come across individual subjects.
Yeah.
So they're just getting a very blunt view.
Yeah.
If like, this is Graham, and his opinion on this.
On this specific
He's like,
thing.
so this could be his entire life. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it's not. It's just...
Whereas I could have known you for, like, years and I've never had that conversation.
I never had that conversation. Though I probably would have, because
Maybe, yeah.
It
yeah.
usually ends up coming out one way or another.
I've had a few conversations about makeup. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
It's a common thing in
Yeah.
society.
It's a thing people do to their faces.
Yeah, apparently.
Bang.
For views on it, go watch my podcast. But yeah, it's been a while, but we haven't actually kind of hung out or
No.
anything. No.
I've just been like, oh, that's a cool person doing stuff.
Well, that's a lie. But...
That's a cool person not doing stuff.
I was tricked into that. So what do I class you as? Because I was trying to think, like, are you a poet? But you also do, like, a bunch of stuff outside of that.
Yeah. I'm predominantly a poet, despite I'm starting a novel right now. But
Okay.
I'm a writer. I am a creative person that cannot get away from that. So, yeah. That's
a good way to do it.
Yeah. But I'm also doing everything else under the sun.
I mean, I can't say that's bad, because that's essentially what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it kind of makes it more interesting.
Mm.
And I think it helps inform all the other stuff you can do. So, like, if you're doing your poetry, you kind of take more experience because you're exploring other things as well.
Definitely.
And not just streamlined on poetry.
Yeah. Like, I'd like to stay focused with poetry and just get as good as I can.
Yeah.
But then there's always distractions, and sometimes those distractions aren't bad at all, you know?
Yeah. How long have you been doing poetry?
Oh, like, so...
That's a better question. How old are you?
I'm 23.
Okay.
But I've been doing it for quite a few years now, but basically I realised that I was writing poetry after I started writing poetry.
Okay.
So when I was like a teenager, I would try and write prose.
Yeah.
But I would have line breaks and all sorts of different things that are classic of a poem, and I was like, I'm just writing some weird experimental prose. But then I looked back and I was like, oh no, you were just writing poetry. You should go do that.
I think I did that once with, like, a play. I'd written kind of this thing, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to write this really weird, like, short film. And
like dialogue heavy.
Yeah, it's going to be dialogue heavy, there's going to be no direction, so when you pick up the script, I was like, hang on a minute, this is just a play. There's no edge to this in any way, shape or form.
But it could be good in its own right, so you know.
I guess if you put it out as something different, then yeah, you're kind of saying it's something different. So you're not saying it's poetry, but it is poetry.
And maybe it doesn't have. Maybe when people think that they're doing something new, that it doesn't have to be of like top quality because it's broaching new ground. I mean that not in like a bitter, horrible.
Never
but it's
try
the
new
whole like
things,
frontier thing. Like
I guess so. Yeah.
The first town you build on a frontier is not going to be perfect.
No.
But it's going to be the first town. You know.
Yeah, I think
it's going to be known for that.
There is a risk of like with that though that a lot of people feel like they can put out a lot of unfinished things.
Yes.
And then continue it being unfinished, even if it grows.
Because it's
like, oh, it's new, and then this is the style. It's like, no, it's just developing, and you never got past development.
Yes,
kind of
yes. I think people are very afraid of editing.
Yes.
Like, very much so.
And just post everything. I mean, I post everything, but...
I wish I could, but I'm so afraid of the internet in that sort of way. Like, I don't want... Because if I put a poem out there, it, like, belongs to someone else now.
See, I love that, though.
I
love just letting go of it. Just like...
That's nice somewhat, but I also want to get published. Which means that once it's out there, I can never do anything with it.
Okay.
Possibly with drawing, there is it's slightly... I don't know, more reproducible.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone says, oh, Facebook owns your poem now, we can't publish.
Yeah. But I do kind of love that whole corporate mechanism of it, though. Just like, oh, I've made this really impassioned, creative thing, and then I'm going to push it out into the world, and Facebook owns it.
Yep. Okay, can't do
I guess
anything
Facebook can publish a poetry book for me. We'll see how that goes.
It's a shame that they don't do anything with it. They should do
it.
It
is, yeah.
At least people would get some sort of pat on the back for, you know.
Maybe Facebook should just start collating creative stuff, and then every so often just publish a Facebook creative book.
I think I should, like...
But not credit anyone.
I totally need to approach Facebook and just be like, let me make an anthology for you by Facebook. Poetry by Facebook.
Poetry by Facebook. It'd be monetized. And appear in everyone's story without choice.
Oh my gosh. Every single advert.
My main grievance at the minute is when my phone notifies me that someone's posted in the story, which they haven't done for a long while.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't care. I wasn't there
still
anyway.
Still not gonna look at it.
Yeah.
I never do.
I'm basically just gonna get rid of the notification.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be the end of this.
The story thing on whatever platform it's on. I just see people's faces in circles, and I'm like, that's their face. That's nice.
You know, that's there every day.
I'm gonna look at everything else now.
Instagram have started doing that. Like Facebook memories.
Oh, okay.
I got a prompt today which was like, check out your post from a year ago and repost it into your story. And I was like,
And then you do see like a selfie.
I mean, I did it.
Or... What was it?
It was a picture. It was just a selfie.
Oh, it was.
But it was back when I had hair.
You have quite a lot of hair.
Yeah, but I used to have a lot.
Like long?
I had hair down to here.
Oh.
Up to like a year and a half ago.
Like proper metalhead.
Yeah, and I'd had that for 13 years.
Wow.
And then I shaved my head. Because I donated all my hair to charity.
Oh, I've done that before because I used to grow my hair to like waist length and then chop it all off.
Yeah, I've only had short hair for like a year and a bit.
But then it's
and then it just gets big. Yeah.
But you have curly hair, so you have long curly hair. That's a whole different story.
It's the untamable hair.
Yeah.
I don't actually do anything with it because it's impossible to do anything with it. You wake up and it's just like, cool, so you're doing that today, right? I guess you'll get brushed and that'll be about it.
I barely brush my hair. But like it's starting to grow longer, so I'm like, okay, I'm like actually starting to get caught in it now.
Yep.
Maybe I should just run something through it.
Yeah. I think that's when you get to that level of just like, oh, if I can run my hand through it and my hand gets stuck, there's a problem.
Yeah.
That's when we need to work out.
Or if someone else strokes your hair and they're like, oh, don't worry, I'll leave it now.
See, that only happens with my beard. Like someone will be like, can I touch your beard? And then they'll get stuck and I'm like, you trapped yourself in this. I didn't invite you, you're just there.
You're just there. How many people do you have living in your beard right now?
I mean, probably a fair few.
Yeah.
I should probably start charging rent.
You should. They're squatters. You have squatters in your
They're
beard.
loud at night. Keep up the neighbourhood, bringing down the house price of my ears.
Oh, it's like a multiple occupancy house and everything.
Yeah.
You need like a fire hose, whatever they are, the fire things.
Like a fire exit?
Extinguisher.
Oh, a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, I've just completely forgotten what it.
It's fine. So, you had subjects. You had ideas.
Yes.
Which I'm curious about.
I was like, I can't just go with these things that are so blatantly obvious to me. But then I thought, actually, they're
they
not
might
that
not be
blatant.
blatantly obvious.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought of talking about polyamory,
Okay.
because I am polyamorous,
Fair.
and you can just ask me all of the appropriate and inappropriate questions. I don't care. And then I thought about like the wibbly wobbliness of gender,
Okay.
like either or all of them, but like I think I've been doing a lot of exploring of the spaces between gender.
Okay.
In like creative stuff and outside of it, and I'm finding it really interesting at the moment.
That's cool. I don't think we discussed either of those on our podcast before.
No.
No. I think as close as we've come to that is discussing like dating and different aspects of dating and bits and bobs like that. And,
That's fair.
yeah.
Or like more open relationships. I suppose
Yeah.
that's kind of a thing that's quite.
I guess with both those subjects there's kind of an overlap at times.
Yeah. I suppose like gender is kind of relevant to who you're with, or you might be.
Yeah. And being polyamorous, if I can actually say the word. I guess you see more aspects of different kind of people who are between or on not like as clear cut.
I suppose people that are questioning the structure of romantic relationships might also be questioning gender and big things like that.
Because you're not going to just question one thing.
No, you're going to be a certain kind of person, I think.
You'd have to kind of get into that mindset, and then all of a sudden everything's a question.
Yeah. And it just keeps coming up, and it is nice, because there are no rules. You make up the rules to your life.
So there are no rules in any way, shape, or form.
No, like, obviously, in life we have, like, all these structures that we're put into, the whole, like, get married, have kids, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people don't truly think about that, I suppose. Like, obviously that's quite a broad statement to say, but, like, you would think that you go in a monogamous relationship with someone and that develops in its own way towards marriage, etc., etc. And you don't really question the overriding structure of it all.
Okay.
Which I think, like, polyamorous people kind of do.
Okay.
Because even if people say try polyamory and decide it's not for them or something like that, they will come up with a whole different attitude to relationships anyway. As long as it's not gone just completely car accident terrible and they have learned nothing.
Yes.
But yeah.
Okay. So do you have a standard definition for polyamory?
I think it's best to kind of just deconstruct the word itself.
Okay.
Which is like poly, which is a Greek root, which means many, and then amory, coming from amor, Latin root. People hate that you mix the Latin and the Greek roots, but hey,
my grammar's terrible anyway, so
Exactly. I barely know if something's Latin or Greek.
I mean, the fact that you know whether they're Latin or Greek shows that you put more thought into it than ever I have put into a word.
I have to explain polyamory a lot. So,
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So it's the idea that you can have more than one relationship simultaneously as your lifestyle, not as a fun thing, I suppose. It's Yeah. You can be as invested or uninvested in relationships as a normal monogamous person could.
Okay. So, I mean, to dumb it down, would it be accurate to say that it's kind of the equivalent of having many open relationships?
Open relationships are funny because people attach proper rules to them with their partners. And they'll have a central partner usually.
Okay, yeah.
And it's more about sex, usually.
Fair, yeah.
Whereas with polyamory, it is much more about love and relationships, and there can be one thing to explain is metamors, which is your partner's partner.
Okay.
And that relationship changes everything. Yeah. Whereas in an open relationship, you might ignore that.
Okay.
have a sort of don't ask, don't tell kind of rule.
Yeah, just
Whereas-
assume.
Yeah.
Whereas, with this, it's very clear and...
Yeah, you have to talk. Communication is like absolutely everything with polyamory.
I can
And
imagine.
you come to learn that just all relationships are about communication, and almost any problem, I
Can
can
be solved by talking to
guarantee,
one another.
any problem you have in a relationship with anyone will be down to communication.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Lack of too much? I don't know. Can you have too much communication?
I mean, personally, yes, you can have too much communication, but
Maybe
I'm a
I'm
very
a
quiet
fairy.
person.
Yeah, okay, like verbal,
Yeah.
like amount of per
Yeah,
day
yeah.
quota.
There's a level of where you just just stop talking.
But there are, like, I think, to, like, the depth of communication,
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of boundless.
Okay.
People can share as much of themselves as they wish, but it often helps when they share everything, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's very, like, especially relationships, even polyamorous or monogamous, like, communication's the key.
It really is.
I think we've discussed this with Charlotte and Brett when they were on, because we were discussing being adults and relationships, and obviously they've been together for like 6 years or whatever it is now. And it's like, as long as you're both talking or
Yeah, definitely.
everyone's on the same page, there's not much can go wrong.
Mhm.
And if it does go wrong, it's usually less damaging than if neither of you are on the same page.
Oh, definitely.
And then it just kind of like blows up and
Mhm.
all those kinds of things.
Yeah, like I have a partner that I've been with for 5 years. We sort of went into poly together,
Okay.
which usually never works.
Right.
Like we are kind of an exception. It's usually an absolute horror story where
Okay.
people from a monogamous relationship say, "Hey,
Yeah.
let's open up our relationship and become polyamorous," because you already have that like idea of monogamy in your relationship.
Okay, yeah. So you're very locked in,
Yeah,
and
you've
then
already
deciding to
experienced-
go, oh, I know, we could just expand this. Yeah. Okay.
because you've had all of that time together and all
Yeah.
of but yeah, so we sort of opened that up, but even before that we were quite good at communicating. Like
Yeah.
we would have conversations like, oh, what if we broke up, and just things like that, which in some relationships would be so out of the normal. And then really frank conversations about children when we weren't even together for a year.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, like, it's not like I'm planning to have a child right now or whatever.
No. You're just talking about
But it's
as a
me
concept.
saying,
Yeah.
I don't particularly want to birth my own child. And that's a difference between both of us. And
Yeah.
that's one way that poly can work amazingly, because these huge things in your life that can be relationship breaking are no longer relationship breaking.
Yeah.
Because he could find someone that really wants a kid and really
Yeah.
wants to be a mum.
Yeah.
And would be happy to do that.
Okay. That's interesting. I don't know whether I've thought of it like that, of kind of just like taking the aspects which you can't get from one relationship
Mm-hmm.
and finding another consistent way of doing that.
Yeah. Because you can't necessarily get everything you need from one person.
Yeah.
Like, you can... Obviously, monogamous relationships can work, and I feel like they work even better when people have good friends.
Yeah.
All of this kind of stuff, or good family. If it's
Definitely.
just... If you're isolated on your own, it can become,
Yeah.
I suppose, toxic, at worst.
Yeah, you do see a lot of that kind of within monogamy is you kind of get that. If you don't have an outside world, then that can be very detrimental to one or both of you.
Yeah.
Because so the thing I always had within monogamous relationships is that idea that if I'm with someone, I hate it when a couple becomes a one instead of a two.
Yeah.
And you kind of look at couples and you're like, both of you are just completely into one another. Like your lives revolve around each other. You spend all your time together.
Wearing matching anoraks.
It's like you've got matching clothes. You're talking in unison. You give advice in exactly the same way. It's kind of disturbing. And I'm sat there going, but you used to be two people, and it's kind of sad that one of you got lost.
Yeah. It is a shame, like because you're always kind of want to be like a single a person on your own that is accepted in their own right, and then suddenly if you are if you want to invite someone to a meal and then suddenly you have to invite the other person.
Yeah, that becomes a thing a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't comfortable with being independent, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you think that people who are in poly relationships are much more independent, as you find?
It depends on the person, but I would say definitely. Like, for me as well, definitely, because I'm affected by my partners.
Yeah.
You know, I might wear matching anoraks with them. Who knows?
Please don't wear anoraks.
I'm not going to wear an anorak.
Let's not bring back the anorak. That's a dark period in time.
It's that 90s look as well. Yeah.
I mean, we're slowly being dragged back into the 90s.
If it's a neon something, then it's okay.
I saw someone in bloody poppers. Like, you know, those tracksuits with the buttons on the side.
Yeah.
Someone was wearing those and I was like, why? They were a bad idea to begin with.
They make me think of, like, male strippers.
Yes.
Because I'm like, why do you need to take them off so quickly?
Yeah.
What's the problem?
You're not even taking them off.
Why do you need a breeze?
Because they connect here.
Yeah.
So just wear flares.
Or a weird skirt.
Yes. Everyone should just get into kilts. Everyone constantly should get into
Kilts are
kilts.
amazing.
Be a bit breezy.
breezy.
And Lincoln's very windy.
I found out recently that on kilts, you know they're kilt pins?
Yes.
So they go on the corner of the fabric to hold it down.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't float up, and I'm like, this needs to happen for skirts. All the poor women of the world that have experienced like flashing people in the street, you know?
I mean, in that sense, you
It'd be saved.
You could just manufacture skirts with like a little bit of weight to the bottom.
Apparently the Queen has like lead in the bottom of all of her skirts.
So they never come off. Must be fun being in a relationship with the Queen. So you don't even get ankle. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I think I don't know because obviously the royal family is a huge icon of monogamous.
I suppose it is.
It's never been.
The marriage is so like.
The marriage is there. It's very structured.
They have kids as soon as possible.
Like in a way, they're kind of required to have children because you have to continue the line, and it's. I think in a way it kind of informs the culture of the UK. In that a lot of people see that, they're brought up with that. Yeah. You know, it's the king, it's the prince, and it's the princess. That's how you live your life.
It is a humongous occasion as well, like a royal wedding. Like, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna be aware of it at least.
I think it'd be interesting if there was a poly relationship within the royal family.
That would be amazing.
It'd be kind of insane.
Very under wraps, but...
I feel like it would do, like, there'd be this whole moment where everyone was trying to figure out what everyone gets called.
Yes.
Because can you have multiple kings?
They would still want a marriage as well.
Yeah. So there'd be a marriage somewhere in there.
Yeah, but then it would have to be they'd have to change the law. Just for them.
So essentially, we need Prince Harry just to decide to be in a poly relationship. Yes. That's quite disturbing. I don't think that'll ever change. But I have my own reservations with the royal family.
Yes. It's a peculiar subject.
Yeah, to kind of roll into.
Yeah. How did that happen? Where were we?
I don't know. Let's get back to the point.
Independence.
Yes,
we're talking about independence. Yeah, so like I can take stuff from other relationships, but I find myself obviously taking things from multiple relationships.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. I've been in a relationship where I learnt how to build a boat.
Nice.
With carbon fibre, which was amazing and dangerous, but amazing.
How's it dangerous? You're building a boat.
Carbon fibre is like the best material ever. You put it on with epoxy, which is kind of toxic glue.
Yeah.
But it's incredibly strong, but incredibly brittle.
Yes.
So it splinters all the time when you move it.
Yeah.
So if you get a splinter in your skin, it stays there and splits and splits and splits. It's so much worse than like a wood splinter.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Learning something new about materials.
This podcast, poly and boat building.
My life.
I guess, I don't know, in a way, kind of, for me, when I kind of think of poly relationships, so obviously we were saying like there's an aspect of you get a lot more independence, but at the same time, conversely, you could have a lot more people relying on you, because maintaining a relationship on itself is quite hard, but maintaining multiple relationships would kill me.
It's it's interesting because there are different parts in different relationships where someone might have to be there more for that person than they are for them, etc., etc., if they're going through a hard time. And so there are times where I have felt like very sort of spread thin.
Yeah.
Because I am trying to take care of these people that I care for.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you have to decide your own boundaries and when to go, okay, someone's feelings are their responsibility. You know, I can't be fully responsible for their feelings. So I'm going to have to, you know, let them in part help themselves. Yeah. And I can be there for them, but I can't do everything.
Okay.
It's knowing how much you can and can't give, I think.
That's fair. Yeah. I guess the risk would be is when you get someone who doesn't know that boundary and just starts out in a poly relationship and then just tries to be involved in everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can get you get people who go from being monogamous to being polyamorous who try and really throw themselves in, but ultimately, if they are so used to having that one-on-one, or if that's what they want, that like full involvement in someone else's lives and seeing them every single day and eating together and things like that, like then it becomes incredibly hard for them. Yeah. Because there are all these expectations of relationships. Yeah. People say that like you'll have these things of like old couples saying, oh, we've eaten together every single day for 40 years and we've never missed a meal. And some people might go, oh, that's really sweet. And then you go, actually, no, there's so much codependence on one another. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You don't need that to enjoy someone's company, necessarily. Like, is that the love part, or is that just codependence? Yeah. Because the love part is just enjoying someone. You don't have to.
But having someone there to eat with is...
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think there's a level there which is kind of overstepping.
Yeah.
To a point where you can't eat alone. And that's, yeah. That's quite strange. Do you think there's, I mean, I don't know, obviously you have many poly people in your life. Does it ever go the other way? And that someone has been in poly relationships for many years and then suddenly decide, no, I'm going to drop.
I've heard of stories of people being in relationships for a few years, and then actually I got told of a story who's someone's partner introduced them to polyamory. Okay. He lives a fully polyamorous life now, but she broke up with him, went to Japan, and got married. Oh, okay. But I think it's just people.
Just people being people.
Yeah, you can't always predict them. There's always going to be someone who breaks any expectation.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's so bizarre, isn't it? But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of the subjects which kind of like, I don't know, within the creative community, because there's obviously so much art and so much kind of creative stuff done around relationships and love and sex and everything which kind of goes alongside it. It's one of those words which gets dropped like in, but you never really see it explored.
It gets a bit lost.
Yeah, like you get kind of like, so like trans and gender and all of that kind of gets heavily discussed, and it's very upfront, and there's obviously a lot of conversation with it within the world at the moment. Yeah. But in terms of kind of poly, it just sits there. Like everyone's gone, all right, so that's a thing.
Yeah. I think people don't take it seriously necessarily. Okay. People have the idea of it's a phase, it's the open relationship thing. You do it for a while, it fixes your relationship, and then you go back to happy marrying.
So it's a bit of a misinterpretation of it.
I think potentially. Yeah. Because I think people go, oh, like in a few years, you know, you'll get over it, you'll get a new monogamous relationship. Yeah. I think it's when legislation, I think with the trans thing, like there's a lot of legislation floating around. Yep. A lot of things being threatened and like some basic human rights being threatened, which is a massive shame. But it's creating the conversation. Yeah. And that is really important. So I think possibly when eventually people are going, no, actually I do need some legislation so I can live in a house with multiple people and not have to have a fire extinguisher and have locks on all of our rooms.
We're not condoning bad fire safety.
But yeah, but it's very hard to say you can't get a mortgage with 3 people or 4 people.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Like, you think that life gets easier with poly, because
Yeah.
obviously you have all these adults around being able
Yeah.
to do all these things, but actually trying to get that household,
Yeah.
you have to be a homeowner, etc. And marriage, if people want to do marriage,
Yeah.
like, that could be a thing that people ask for in future.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think at
interesting.
that point, that's when people are going to start talking
Multi-person
about...
marriages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, people marrying different people,
Yeah.
and... Yeah.
But then all being considered in the same situation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's weird. It's not weird, but
There's
it's
some
like...
accountant in, like...
Yeah, I feel like someone's head slowly is exploding in like
Yes.
bureaucracy somewhere. Like, how would we even make that work in
Yeah.
the system?
It's
like,
kind of mad.
There's only 2 text fields. How do I can't just add someone else's relationship.
How does parenting work?
Can these
oh,
overlap?
God. You need new birth certificates. What if they just don't care who the father is? What?
In a way, I don't know. So I think, because obviously, like, for me, a lot of, like, things like legislation and stuff like this, it gets held back by not only kind of views, but it gets held back by technology. So this kind of thing, obviously, is the whole prospect of introducing another aspect into what would be law. For a lot of kind of higher ups and business and whatever, they look at it and they go, that is going to be so much work
Yes.
that we wouldn't even know where to start, so we're just not going to consider
Just
it.
not going to bother. Yeah.
We're not going to consider it. And it's kind of like with the whole trans aspect of like this, people are just sat there going, but there's so many things we'd have to change.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, yeah, that's kind of the point, and that's why we want you to do it.
Yeah.
But they kind of sit there and go, oh, maybe not. But then within the future, and kind of how technology seems to be going, it seems like it might open up to be a lot easier for like changes like this to be introduced.
Mm-hmm. A lot of stuff is still outdated, I think, within like
Oh, definitely.
government things in general.
I mean, I have a problem with the whole aspect of marriage, so...
Yes, well, yeah. I'm not terribly keen on it. I think if I did get married, I would only get it to, like... I think I'd like to get married at, like, the top of a big hill and then roll down, like, in a big wedding dress.
That'd be cool.
But I would only do it for, like... I'd have to be persuaded.
You'd have to be persuaded.
There'd have to be some really good, like, beyond tax, beyond...
See, that's... When I think of marriage, I think, cool. So the only reason I marry someone at this point in time, it'd be for tax reasons.
Yeah.
It'd be so, so family is supported and
That's so,
partner
like,
is supported
depressing.
when we go do things.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it. And for a lot of people, obviously, it's a huge thing. It's like, marriage is the goal, it's everything, or it's like a huge declaration of your love for someone.
Yeah.
And I'm just sat there going, yeah, but the cost of it all.
Yeah. I think I'm very unromantic about marriage. But I love weddings. Weddings are great. Like, massive families getting together.
No.
No?
Like, so, but then this is my problem. I have a problem with weddings.
Yeah.
Because weddings are boring.
Oh, but
Weddings are so crap.
maybe I've not been...
Maybe I've been to the wrong weddings.
Maybe.
I've been to a lot of traditional weddings. So for a while I did photography and did like freelance photography.
So you've seen
So
a
I've
lot.
photographed different weddings. I've been to weddings.
Yeah.
I've been to very few weddings as a guest. But you kind of go to these weddings and they're all kind of the same. Mm-hmm. They can make them as unique as they want, person to person, and they're all kind of the same. And you kind of sit there going, I don't get why people can't put something different into this.
Yeah.
It's like, alright, so you're going to go to the building, you're going to have your guests, and your guests are going to arrive and it's going to be nice, and you're going to have half the guests who don't want to be there, and half the guests who want to be over-involved in the whole wedding.
Oh gosh.
And you're going to watch them go in, and then you're going to say your vows, and your vows can be unique, and that's wonderful and everything. And you're going to take some photographs.
Yeah.
And then you're going to go to the venue, and it's like,
Yeah.
cool.
And have some finger food.
And this cost you, what, 20 grand to put this on? And you're like, hang on a minute, you could have done this in like a field, you could have lit something on fire, you could have like gone on a boat.
Yeah.
And there's all these different things. You're like, this could have cost you a lot less.
Yeah.
You could have thrown a hell of a party for 20 grand.
Yeah.
And instead you rented 1-2 locations.
I'm sold on bonfire, to be honest. That's a great way to celebrate anything.
I figured if I ever got married, I'd burn something. It was one of those things of like...
Out of celebration?
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I don't know, that whole idea of you kind of... So essentially my view of kind of life and how things went. I was like, if I ever got married, I'm not a person who wants kids. But if I ever had kids, then I just have kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd want them to attend the wedding. I'd want my children to witness their parents get married. So like that's quite a nice thing.
That's kind of sweet, yeah.
They kind of come together and they witness it, and then it's this big event. I was like, so then if you're going to do that, it needs to be something spectacular, like beyond what a wedding is. And I was like, so the only way to do that is to make it kind of ritualistic to a point where guests have no choice but to get involved.
That's
so
cool.
you have like outside events and then a massive bonfire, which you and your partner set on fire.
Cool.
Don't light a cake, just make a bonfire.
Throw a cake into the bonfire.
Yeah, you know, burn the wedding dress, that kind of thing.
Just have a winter solstice get together and see all your family naked.
I mean, I'm not spiritual in any way, but the idea of having a wedding like that'd make an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's an event I go to in York that is the Holy Folk and Revolutionary Society. But
Look how
it's
quickly
just,
you said that. Like, if you stopped halfway through the word, you might mess up.
I probably would. But they get together and just sing folk songs around a bonfire on this like public field.
Right.
And it's just a beautiful, beautiful evening to have. And it's just like, this literally cost someone to go to a building site and ask about some wooden pallets.
Yeah.
That's all it cost. And you just rock up and it's amazing.
See, and that's an amazing night.
Yeah.
And then someone spends $5,000 on a cake.
Yep. Or some like the fairy cakes, the cupcakes.
Yeah.
You know, because people are fussy.
You could go to Sainsbury's and get like 12 for like £1.
Yeah.
People aren't thinking this through.
And then there's gluten-free options.
I feel like, I don't know. I mean, food would have to be a big aspect of whatever I did.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very food-centric. So
How many things can you cook on a bonfire? There's a lot of meat-based things.
Yeah, you can cook pizzas.
I suppose you could. Are you talking about like a big stone like pizza oven?
Yeah. Okay. Well, like, you see, you could have like a heated rock, I guess,
Yeah.
and just slap that at the bottom of the bonfire.
Okay, cool. Just
Put
throw
stuff in
things over.
foil.
Yeah.
You can cook aubergines and all vegetables and stuff on bonfires, or just a big soup.
Massive.
You could just do a massive soup. Actually, that's a very good idea. All right, so I'm taking that one and writing it down in there.
So we're planning your wedding now.
Planning my wedding, apparently. Which could be disturbing for the person I'm dating. Don't panic, we're okay. It's been a month, we're not there.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think kind of, society would need to make a change in order for all of that to happen.
Yes, definitely.
Do you see that happening in your lifetime? That's a strong.
I hope I do.
Yeah.
I really, really hope that when I'm older, that I get to look back and go, how much it's changed, but for the positive.
Yeah.
And I'm genuinely looking forward to the day that someone young tells me something new.
Okay. How do you mean?
So I suppose I've done this to a few people, I reckon. Like, if I come out with, like, polyamory to someone older, and they're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, and then you tell them all about it, and they're like, I had no idea that this was a thing that was happening. I'm excited for that day.
Okay.
When I suddenly go, what is this? This is a whole new thing that I just don't understand. What? There are loads of people doing this?
Yeah.
I kind of like that, not knowing.
Okay. So I think for a lot of people that's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like when you kind of go up to someone and say, oh, there's this now, and they're like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So I'm scared of it.
So I'm just going to ignore it.
Just going to ignore it for a little bit. Until my son or daughter comes up to me and tells me that they haven't known into this, and now I have to learn what this is.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely a lot of that, you know. I think.
Definitely, yeah.
But then I can, obviously I'm a fair bit older than you. I'm not, yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Not that much
Are you
older.
okay?
I'm still in my 20s. But no. This has become a recurring theme of this year's podcast so far, is discussing how old I am.
You really aren't.
No, yeah. I'm not even kind of a quarter way through.
I've heard 28-year-olds talking like they're dying already, and I'm just like, you are young. You are still young.
Yeah, but there is a thing which, you see, you'll come across it when you reach 25. You suddenly start realising that you're dying.
There is
But like
that.
your body just kind of goes, yeah, we're gonna give up.
You actually do hit your peak at 26.
Yeah.
Your physical peak, and then everything starts degrading.
Yeah, everyone you meet after that point will be like, yeah, I'm dying. And some people handle it really well and kind of like dive into it and go, all right, we're not going to die. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna do all the things which are required to keep me going. In fact, they might even get better health into their 30s. And some just go the other way. Just lay down and accept it.
Crumble a little bit.
Yeah. I'm one of those people. But I've been like that since I was like 16. So I fully accepted that my body hates me.
We're done now.
Wake up in the morning and go, all right, my back hurts. I don't know why my back hurts, but it hurts. I guess that's a thing now.
I don't know. I feel like I already have enough pain going on. I think I'll just be like, oh, this is a new one.
Yeah.
It keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
Keeps it fresh.
I mean, if you've already got it, that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you will find anyone over the age of 25 will consider that they're dying.
Yes. Yeah. I've definitely found that. And then you meet like 50-odd-year-olds that are like raving it.
That's the Renaissance.
Yeah.
It's like you reach 25, you think you're dying, and then you go up to like 35, and you realise you're going to be 40 in 5 years.
Yeah.
And your brain goes, yeah, but I'm not actually in that bad of health. But I think that's because you kind of look above you and go, so my parents are almost dead. And I'm not that bad. So I'll be okay.
Fair.
Yeah. And then you go into your 50s after your midlife crisis as well.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. Have you fallen into the trap of quarter life crisis yet?
Because
you're approaching that age.
I'm resisting. Like, life is suddenly incredibly busy after, like, I finished my undergrad.
Okay.
And then I'm into my second year of my master's.
What are you studying?
Creative writing.
Of course.
Because I want a serious degree.
I didn't ask degree. I'm fully aware of the conflict.
I just wanted to keep writing for a while. So, last term, because of how it worked out, I had nothing at university. So last term I kind of had a taste of like life after uni if I'm just working like 2 part-time jobs.
Yeah.
And it was quite draining and sad. Because, but then I'm one of these people that has to be doing something that they enjoy.
Okay. Yeah.
Every day. Like, I want to live to work.
Yeah.
There are some people that work to live, and that totally works for them. I've seen it.
Yep.
Like, they'll work any job, and then in their spare time they'll have the best life.
Yes.
But I want to work to live.
That's
No,
fair.
I want to live to work.
Yeah.
That
think,
one.
Yeah, there's definitely a divide of people.
Yeah.
Kind of. I mean, I'm very much of the aspect of I need money.
Yes.
So I work any job, doesn't matter
important.
what. Yeah, and that's kind of been my driving force for a very long time. But then at the same time, I do a lot of things in my free time.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you have that balance, you're okay when you approach it that way. But the trap is obviously that you don't do anything in your free time and then you just work.
And like forgetting what you want, and too many people do that, I think.
I mean, yeah, it's an easy trap to fall into though.
It definitely is.
It's so easy. I mean, I've been in my role for 5 years now. And it wasn't what I intended to do. I didn't intend to be there for 5 years.
No.
And it was just to make money. Because at the time I was self-employed and I wasn't making enough. So it was like, right, go get a job.
Yeah.
Go do a thing. And then, 5 years later, I'm like, still there.
Yeah.
And you kind of, you can easily, especially when as well, like, because you don't know what life will bring. And you're like, cool, so I'm doing this. And it's like, oh, I'm doing this, but oh no, I have a child now.
Yes.
I have a house now. Oh. I
Yeah.
gotta support my partner. Oh. And suddenly more and more things pile up and you're like,
Definitely.
And
all the responsibilities.
Yeah, I think I used to resent people who kind of just worked jobs. And then as I've gotten older, I'm like, yeah, okay. There's way more to this than just me viewing someone who works at Sainsbury's and does that all the time. And I'm like, bit more appreciation.
Yeah, definitely. Because people have, like, I have kittens.
Okay.
And I'm going, there is so much more responsibility now. Like, I was fully aware of the responsibility beforehand, though.
Okay.
Like, it weighed
You didn't
down
take
on
on
me.
kittens unwillingly?
No.
No.
They weren't thrust upon me.
No.
No.
And you weren't just like, oh, they're going to be adorable constantly.
No, I was very aware that they all live until, like, at least, like, I don't know, around like 13.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Cats
average.
live for a while.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I would be 36
36.
if one of them lives to 13 or both of them.
One sec. Postman. I have no idea why I bothered. That's the problem with my mailbox. My mailbox is tiny. Anyway, back to kittens.
Yes. Oh, yes, kittens. Yeah, so I was fully aware of like the responsibility. It took me ages to find a house to move into out of a student house.
Yeah.
But I was very lucky in the last 2 weeks. And now I think I'm going to, like, if I want to find a job, and for that I would move. Because I don't want to feel like I'm stuck in a place without anywhere to go and know that there is a job somewhere else that could fit me perfectly.
Yeah.
But then I go, but then there are kittens and I have to find a place for them again that they can fit into and be able to afford that, like, immediately. And blah, 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 blah. There are all these things that just build up, even with 2 little kittens.
Yeah. It's
Suddenly
kind
I'm
of
like...
it's like being a puzzle piece. Where you start off kind of simple, and then every so often you just add a notch to your puzzle piece, and it's harder to fit that. Yeah.
I think, funny enough, with Polly, I feel like I'm adding options as well.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I have 2 partners in Lincoln and 1 partner in York.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking if I did want a PhD or something like that, then I could think about York. It would fit.
Yeah.
I could go there, be around my partner. Whether I moved in, probably wouldn't move in with them, but I still have some sort of familiarity if I go there.
Yeah.
It's like a little hold that I can have there.
To use a bad phrase, it's kind of like setting up franchises. You just It's like, so I have a person over there.
I can expand into this
yes.
one.
And if they move, I now have access to this city as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to put a corporate aspect on your relationships.
To be honest, you do have to do a lot of organising sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, how do you handle Christmas? Like a big event like that?
That's going to be...
Surely
I think it's going to be interesting in future.
Run ragged at the end of it.
Well, I had a really good Christmas this Christmas, actually.
Okay.
Both my I live with one partner and the other doesn't live with us, but he stayed overnight on Christmas Eve. So we woke up all together Christmas morning, played board games. He went off to his family. Yeah. And then I had my family over, and then I spent the rest of my Christmas with the live-in partner.
Nice.
So it worked really well. But though I know there will be many hectic Christmases to come. And the partner in York, I'm like, I've not even... Yeah. I can't even think about that right now.
That's picking at a scab.
But then that's... we kind of have a different sort of relationship. Okay. I suppose. Yeah. Because we don't see each other that much. It's once every month or 2. Yeah. For a weekend. So we have a much more sort of relaxed relationship. I'm not a massive one for talking online all the time, especially with partners and stuff. Yeah. Because tone and anything can get confused.
You can lose a lot of that.
So we don't even talk online that much. And then we just see each other and we see each other and enjoy that.
That's nice. Yeah.
But we've been together for about 2 years now, and we've started kind of missing one another more. Okay. Yeah. Which is really pleasant. Because before it was like, oh, it's great that I don't have to miss this person. Yeah. And, I just go enjoy the company and then go back to normal life. Yeah. It's kind of like having an old friend where you pick up where you left off whenever you see them. And, It's exactly like that. Yeah. But now it's starting to be like, oh, I do actually miss you more. You are more. It's the familiarity thing. Yeah. If someone's familiar, you want them closer to you. And all that kind of stuff. So that's nice, and I suppose that's going to be a new part of our relationship, I suppose. Yeah. Because
I think, I mean, in a way, to me, that's the most interesting part of kind of your relationship, is that I've always been a person who said I could never do long distance. Because I did this long distance kind of in college, and it was a disaster. An absolute disaster. So the fact that you kind of have people here, but then someone who's just off
Yeah.
doing their own thing is really quite interesting.
Yeah, I was also one of the people that said I couldn't do long distance because I'd seen other people do it and it goes terribly.
Never works. Like that's the rule, right?
Yeah, and people try it when they go to uni, etc.
Yeah.
But I think with this, because there is like I've sort of dated or had kind of relationships with people that I wouldn't have for a monogamous relationship. Because I would go, oh, clearly we're kind of mismatched on this kind of part of life.
Okay.
Or whatever. But now I've had some, like, lovely, like, kind of relationship type things, whatever that you call them.
Yeah.
Like, because relationships can take all sorts of different forms if you want them to.
Yeah.
But I've had that with people and had a really lovely experience. And though I knew it wouldn't last, I could still explore that and still have a lovely time.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you're having a lovely time.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I think that's true of anything. As long as you as long as you're both enjoying yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem?
Yeah. Whereas it could be it might turn out to be like a horrible relationship if you have a relationship like that monogamously, because you're just, I suppose, you're left alone at the end of it. And
yeah.
You're probably not as honest with yourself as you would have been.
Maybe. Yeah.
Because you want that person to be that right person. Always.
Yeah, you put kind of, in a way, with a monogamous relationship, you kind of putting all your eggs in one basket, to use a bad phrase. But kind of like you putting everything, so you're like, oh, if this doesn't work, you've got more to lose, in a way, because you're like, oh, well, that's gone, that's it, sort of thing. So it's very hard to imagine yourself with anyone else. I think that was kind of thing when my previous relationship, we were together 5 years, but we'd known each other 8 years.
Yeah.
And kind of came to the end of it, and it took me about like half a year before I'd even consider dating anyone, because I just couldn't picture it. I just couldn't picture the idea of being with anyone else, because we'd spent so long together, and it was just one of those things. It's like, it becomes everything.
Yeah,
so
it really does.
I guess within a kind of a poly relationship, while it would be sad if one of your relationships ended, you still already have that in your mind. It's like, oh, that's one aspect of my life which is just now closed. Yeah. I've still got these other ones,
Yeah. I've had some interesting, like, experiences with, like, other partners, and even myself having breakups with poly, because it can change. It's I've had the experience of a partner just kind of needing a friend for a while, because the relationship stuff is probably too, like, painful, I suppose. Yeah. Okay. You don't want to literally leave someone from breaking up, go to your partner, and then have all this, like, sweet, lovey-dovey stuff. Yeah. You just want to distance yourself from that for a while.
You want some space.
Yeah. So I've had, like, relationships that have just, like, even, like, I don't know, a few weeks, a month, however long it takes for them to just sort of
recover.
Yeah. Or at least partially, like, it takes some time, but you just kind of adapt. Yeah. And that's quite nice.
That's quite nice.
Because I'm not expecting what I usually would expect, or having that pressure on them.
So with poly being obviously quite a large part of your life, I say large part, it's your life. It's an aspect of your life, but it's your life. Do you find that is like the driving force behind your creative stuff? Because I find like obviously within classic poetry and those kinds of things, the aspect of love and relationship is huge. It's like the main thing for a lot of people, and they only write about that. Mm-hmm. But is that the same for you?
I would say no, really. Like, obviously because of the different experiences I've had and various partners or whatever, there are probably more things I can write on. Yeah. More experience to bounce off of. But about, like, polyamory specifically, I've not actually written that much.
Okay, that's interesting.
I would like the idea of doing a, like, sort of classic love poetry, but polyamorous. Just, like, very casually polyamorous. Yeah. Like, it doesn't need to explain itself. Yeah. And I've done some poems where I've there's a poem where I kind of, it's almost like letter-like, speaking to two of my partners about one night that happened. Yeah. And they both get completely different things. Yeah. And there are things like that I suppose, if unexplained, are peculiar.
Yeah.
Um,
I find that's interesting though, because like that's it's something I notice a lot, especially within kind of local artwork and people who are just starting out in art or just kind of finding their feet of where they want to go. People focus heavily on one thing of their life. They kind of take hold of it and go, I wear, ties. I'm going to write about nothing but ties forever. And I'm like, it's a really kind of obvious thing about you to go, all right, you wear ties, so you're going to write about it, wearing ties. So in a way, it's kind of, it shows how comfortable someone is if they're not writing about it, in a way.
Yeah.
It's like, this is you, it's just an aspect of your life. You wear a tie, but you write about wearing, t-shirts.
Yes, yes.
Don't know why I've gone down a clothing,
You're so used to the
clothing
tie,
metaphor line.
Yeah.
And I think that's nice, because it's you see it so often that so people just kind of grasp hold of it and they go, this is everything, so this is everything I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And you kind of need to move past it in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing is I crave experience.
Yeah. What do you write about most?
It's a funny question if people ask what do you write about, because I will just write about anything that I come across.
Yeah. What's your book about? If you can discuss what your book's about.
The novel I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's a really funny idea. Because I talked about one. I've only ever had 2 novel ideas.
Okay.
And I forgot about one of them until recently. So
write them down.
I know, I really should. But I was talking about this novel idea I had to a friend, and she mentioned casually, oh, what about that toilet idea you had? And then I was like, what?
Well, I'm intrigued.
And I must have just been riffing in a conversation or something.
Yeah.
But I came up with the idea of I was just thinking about all the life events that you have within bathrooms.
Yeah.
And there are just so many different things that can happen. And it doesn't, obviously some of them will be funny and rude and whatnot, but there are so many different kinds of experience you can have in a bathroom. So I kind of want to write that.
Okay.
Attached to one person maybe, or a few people. And
That's interesting. Yeah.
I'm figuring out the voice right now, which is I'm
toilet.
confused by. Yeah, I was like, do I literally do it from the point of do I do it from the first person, or it's just...
I mean, that kind of reminds me. So there was a TV show. I think it was a TV show. It must have been the 70s, and it was about a house, and it kind of focused on the house, but it focused on the different families that lived in the house. So it was all the same house, but each time you kind of got a different perspective per season of what they were doing in the house, and it focused on the mothers in each household and how they were going through their things, because it was from the 50s through the 60s and 70s, and the different challenges they were facing as they went through. It's kind of, reminds me of that. But it also reminds me of the whole idea that whenever you're at a party, things happen in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Always. You could do a series.
A series.
Just different
Once we've done
rooms.
toilet, then we move on to kitchen.
You have a toilet, and then the kitchen, and then,
Then it gets
you could have a sneaky X-rated one, which is the bedroom. So you write 7 of them, and then someone's like, oh, no, just put
bonus
this
coffee,
one. Just don't worry about that.
And then you run out of ideas, and it's reception room 2.
And suddenly it becomes unrelatable to the one. I was like, what's a reception room? My door opens into my living room.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to getting my teeth into it, because there are so many ideas.
Yeah.
You can cry in the bathroom, you can have, I don't know, life-changing experiences.
Yeah.
You can throw up a lot. Drunk conversations. Girls talk to one another in the bathroom.
I mean,
I've never been one for that, but...
No?
No, they have, the private conversation thing.
I find men have pep talks in bathrooms.
Pep talks, that's cool.
The amount of times I've walked into a bathroom and met 2 guys at the sink, one of them talking the other one into either not doing something or doing something is ridiculous.
I think I'm going to have that as an idea then. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, literally the last night we went out, we were in Wetherspoons.
Oh, yes.
Upstairs in Wetherspoons, which is always a classy crowd, because it's Wetherspoons. And it was just kind of interesting to watch, because I was just I just finished washing my hands, and I was kind of listening in on what good, because you can't. And I mean, they were talking loud anyway. But they were just kind of chatting to each other, and it was obvious that the guy was trying to convince the other guy not to talk to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, something had happened and they needed some space. But they were like, no, I need to ring them. And I need to text them. And they were like, no, do not do this. We're just going to keep going. And they went there for a good 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they didn't come out of the bathroom. I came out and saw him walking down the stairs. I was like, this is quite strange. But the amount of times I've seen that is it's quite shocking.
That's interesting.
Whereas with me, for me, bathrooms, you get in and you get out.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, so many girls gossip.
Yeah.
And, like, I suppose talk about, like, I suppose if you're on a night out.
Yeah.
Girls cry, actually, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always, like, one girl with mascara running down her face. At that particular point in the night.
Yes.
In a particular club, you know? Like...
I always think there's a cliche which we used to... So when I used to work in nightclubs, you could always tell what kind of night you're going to have at work if on the way to work you saw someone sitting on a step crying.
Yep.
So if you see someone sitting on a step crying, it's going to be a rough night at work because everyone started too early.
Yes.
It's like 9 o'clock. You're already in tears. Please go home.
I've seen that going on the way to just, like, a pub.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, this is going to be a weird one.
This is going to be a rough night. And then an hour later, they're on the dance floor. And you're like, this is not the way to deal with your problem. Just, please go home.
I mean, like, well done, but also...
Yes, congratulations, but go home. Stop drinking. Yeah, I think that should be a general rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just, like, let's be honest, my point of no return is if I sit down.
Okay. So
Like,
you gotta
that's
stay
the
standing
only...
for the entire night.
Like, no. Like, if I have passed the point of no return,
Okay.
my body just goes, sit down. Doesn't matter where I am.
Just sit down.
It's only happened a few times, but it's always been disastrous.
I haven't been past the point of no return in a very long time.
Yes. It's been a while for me.
Like, mainly because I don't like... So I hate it when you're drunk and the room spins.
Mm-hmm.
And then you close your eyes and the room keeps spinning.
Yes.
I hate that, like, so much. So I always stop myself drinking to that point. I think, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm like drunk.
No?
No.
Should ask someone sometime what it's
but
like.
they don't really know.
No?
I was under being the responsible one on nights out.
Oh.
That's the kind of the role I take. It's like, because I can drink quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be drinking and then someone will have too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll be, Graham's looking after him.
Oh. At least you're not like the sober friend that gets roped into it.
No.
Like, you still get
I'm still drunk,
Yeah.
but then by the time I've dealt with them, I'm like,
it does sober
I
you
just
up.
can't be arsed now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go home. I've had a good night up to this point, but now I'm putting you in a taxi and I'm going home. You got me thinking about bathrooms now.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that, like, in my family, we have a history of people dying in bathrooms.
Oh, wow.
So...
Like in the Elvis fashion? Or...
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, wow.
So, I think it was... I can never remember what relation he is. He's like my mum's uncle or something like that. He died on the toilet. And then my granddad died on the way back from the bathroom. And everyone just kind of seems to go to the bathroom when they know they're going to die.
Oh, wow. I think I found an ending.
Just casually, just like, you know what, I'm going to die. Maybe I should go to the loo.
Yeah. I mean, it happens when you die anyway, so you may as well.
Maybe we're saving ourselves that embarrassment.
It's the elegant way, surely.
It's the logical way. We're just like, don't want to do this on the floor.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go to the bathroom. I like that. I like the idea of even near death, we start thinking now.
We still feel shame.
This is going to be messy for people.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry.
Yeah, it's that thing. Like, the politeness overrides. We're a very polite family. So
leaves a note.
Yeah. Sorry about the sheets. Tried to go to the bathroom, couldn't.
Here's the dry cleaning bill.
You just have to deal with this now. I mean, that's a roller coaster to go through. We started off on Polly and now we're on crap.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And death.
And death, of course.
Had to.
Yes. But I think that's nice. Not a nice way to end this podcast. It's been been an interesting exploration of everything Polly.
And everything else.
Yeah. And I think it's one of those things of kind of, as you said at the start, where people don't like asking questions about anything. When you learn about someone's life, you're like, is there things I can't ask? It's like kind of like when you discover that someone's gay, and you're like, is there things I can't ask? should I ask? But I'm also really curious.
Yeah.
And
like, there will be the questions that everyone has asked before, but
yeah.
I'm of the opinion that, like, I am happy to answer them.
What's the worst question? That's what we should finish on. What's the worst question to get asked? Or the most
About
insulting
polyamory.
question about polyamory?
Oh, that's the thinker. I'll give you a few of the questions. Like,
Okay.
people ask, like, so, do you have to be with their partner?
Okay,
I'm like,
right. No?
No. Like, I have, like, my own choice
Yeah.
involved. People will just say that, you know, they'll basically tell you that it's a phase.
Right.
Oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
Oh, like, how long do you think they'll be doing it for?
Yeah, okay. I mean, I think that the...
And then there's the one of, like, do you all have sex together? And it's like, no! Also, I have choice. Like, seriously.
It's like, I'm in multiple relationships, so that obvious means that we do orgies. Like, that's...
It's just a big haram. We're all
Yeah.
just...
We get home at the end of the day, there's a mattress, and
Yeah.
we just pile in.
We don't need a house, it's just a mattress with a kitchen on the side. It's fine.
No, yeah, I think, yeah, there's a lot of dumb questions come out of things.
Yeah.
But those are some pretty terrible questions, to
But
be honest.
again, I'm still happy to answer
Yes.
them and be like, no.
That's the only way you stop people asking those questions.
Yes.
Is to be able to answer them.
And provide the logic.
Yes.
Yes.
But that's good. Well, thank you for coming, Charlie,
No problem.
and enjoying the podcast. I hope it was a pleasurable experience
Yeah,
at least.
It was interesting.
It's always, you can always try and keep it interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about Arax and all sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have to have you back next year.
Yeah.
People are only allowed on once a year.
Once a year.
Yeah.
That's fair, they can't spam it.
And usually the next time they come, they have to bring a friend.
Oh. I'll have to get some friends then.
Wow. And on that note, we'll talk to you guys later.